Thomas was just coming in from a hard day's work to go back to his tunnel and have a sleep to get ready for the next day. Thomas had just got settled in his cave when he heard the skinny controller come jogging through the hills instead of driving in his Lamborghini. The skinny controller went jogging to where Thomas was resting. "What are you jogging for?" asked Thomas to the skinny controller. "Because I'm training for the controller's athletic carnival tomorrow. Last year I came second, so this year I wanna come first and beat the medium-built controller." "Oh," said Thomas. "I want you to come and support me," said the skinny controller to Thomas. "Oh, okay, sir, as long as I don't have to do any work. No, all I want you to do is come along and cheer for me." "Okay then," said Thomas, "I'll do that." Meanwhile, at the medium-built controller's railway station, the medium-built controller was also getting into shape for the athletic carnival tomorrow by doing some push-ups. Meanwhile, at the muscly-built controller's railway station, he was doing star jumps. Meanwhile, the fat controller practiced for the athletics carnival by going hang gliding. Finally, the day of the carnival had arrived, and Thomas was readily awaiting for the fat controller to come around and take him to the athletics track. And in the distance he could hear his car coming along. The skinny controller's car came to a screeching halt, and he then hopped out. "Hello, Thomas," said the skinny controller. "Ready to come along and support me today?" "Yes, sir," said Thomas cheerfully. "Are we going to go now?" "Yes, okay," said the skinny controller. "Just follow me. I know the way." With that, the skinny controller hopped in his car and the two went off to the track. Finally, the skinny controller and Thomas both arrived at the track, and the skinny controller hopped out of his car to greet the medium-built controller, the fat controller, and the muscly controller. They all said hello to each other, and then had a bit of a chat, and went off to go and compete in the first event, the shot put. The fat controller was the first one up to throw the shot put. He gave it a big heave and threw it many meters. The skinny controller and the medium-built controller both threw their shot puts, but didn't go as near as far as the fat controller. All who was left to throw now was the muscly controller. The muscly controller stepped up and gave a big heave and threw the shot put right out of viewing area. They didn't know where the shot put went. It went right up in the sky and they never saw it again. Meanwhile, over at the bar, the chaps were having a few drinks, just chatting amongst themselves. "You pass another beer, mate?" "Oh, give us a whiskey, will you?" "Oh, could I have a double brandy?" However, over the top of the bar roof came a black dot, which they didn't know what it was. "Hey, what's that black dot?" "Oh, I know. Looks like a stray shot put." "Oh!" The Mosley controller had thrown the shotput all the way over the bar and killed someone. Annie the ambulance came rushing to the scene. Annie the ambulance put the killed man in the back of her car and quickly drove off to the hospital. "Well, that was a bit of a shame," said the men at the bar. "Yeah, and it was his shot too." Back at the track, the Fat Controller had just been declared the winner of the shot put, and the medium build controller lined up to throw the javelin. He gave a big heave as he threw the javelin. It was a big throw from the medium build controller. The skinny build controller and the fat controller both had a throw at the javelin. Didn't go as near as far as the medium build controller had. All that was left to now was the muscly controller. Could he beat the medium build controller's javelin throw? The muscly controller stepped up confidently and also gave a big heave, but the javelin went straight up into the air. The javelin went flying right up off into the air, and they waited about 2 minutes or so, and suddenly they heard this whistling sound. The javelin went straight through the muscly built controller's body. He was dead instantly. Annie the ambulance was again called in, and the muscly controller was quickly whipped off to the morgue, and the competitors headed over to the next event, the 100-metre dash. At the start of the 100-metre dash, a big crowd had gathered, and the racers were in the starters' orders. The skinny controller looked very fit and was out to pull off a victory. Meanwhile, the medium bit controller had a grin of determination on his face, and the fat controller had a look of constipation, and suddenly there was a big and people started screaming all over the place. "Oh, my eyes, they're burning," said the skinny controller. "Oh, my nose hairs," said the medium build controller. What was that? The fat controller had let one rip, and very quickly the crowd quickly dispersed. The fat controller was left all by himself. Everyone had left. "Oh, I wonder what's wrong with them," said the fat controller. But soon after the smeller passed, the crowd returned. With the crowd and the competitors returning, the race could begin. And this time a specialist starter was called in, Sammy the starter. The races were under Sammy's orders, and Sammy said, "Ready, set, go," and with a bang he let the runners off. However, Sammy had live bullets, and which he forgot to take out and put blank ones in, and he shot the medium build controller, leaving the skinny build controller the winner of the day. Thomas cheered with joy. "Hey, you've done it. You've done it, skinny controller. Well done." And Annie came in again and took the medium build controller away to the morgue. At the presentation area, the skinny controller was declared winner by default and received a brand new ute, which he coveted with joy. And with that, the two left to go back to the railway station. Have you ever thought that picture frames are out of your reach, money-wise? Well, now there's a new El Cheapo picture frame, made entirely of plastic, which costs you, the viewer, only $19.99. That's if you phone now on 390-5784, 390-5784. But wait, if you phone now, you get a watch, a horse, a roll of sticky tape, a press stick, markers, a joystick, tissue paper, a authentic plastic brooch, and a pair of scissors, all for phoning this number now. That's all you have to do. For $9.99 you get all this and much more. He was young and insecure. She was pure and innocent, just looking for a good time. He was small and skinny and had to put on some weight. Together, these three make up one of the most unforgettable love stories of the decade.
Really love each other. I'm sad enough for both of us, and I'm starving for your touch. Boy, baby, bring it on back, bring it on.
There is spellbinding action. Today, Thomas decided to go hang gliding. There is intense drama. Thomas, yes, skinny controller. You know, I didn't always want to be a skinny controller. No, what did you want to be? I wanted to be a brain surgeon. And of course, there is passion. Annie, you may think that I don't notice you, but ever since you've been wearing those frills around your roof, you've been turning me on every day. I think I'm in love with you. Oh, really, Thomas? I feel the same about you, said Annie. How about we go out for dinner? Yes, that sounds like a good idea, said